It is a full moon, and this full moon is an absolute vibe. So I thought I'd do just a nice little 40-minute sort of full moon sort of thing. So I will meet you on your mats using support underneath the hips. Um, let's take it easy seated for our beginning meditation. As it is a full moon, it's just nice to be a little bit more upright. And I'll see you there in a moment. I should also apologise in advance for my choice of garments. I was so into this yoga practice that I just didn't want to go and change my shorts. But I do have knickers on. I will let you know that. So it's just a pre-warning. It's not too revealing. It's just the shorts are a little bit short, aren't they? Anyway, come to a nice seated position. As I said, using support underneath the hips. Make sure you're nice and comfy. Let your hair down. And maybe give the shoulders a roll if you need to. Take your time to get really nice and comfortable in your posture. Up to you where you want your hands. You can have them the fingers interlaced at your lap, palms down or up, wherever they fall naturally. Try not to think about it too much. Take this time just to come into your breath. Noticing the coming and the going of the breath. Acknowledging the sounds closest to you and further away. And then honing that observation of sound back to the closest thing to you, which would be your breath. And whenever the mind does tend to wander, which it does, we're human, just simply acknowledging that the mind has moved off, of course, and then bringing it back to that point of focus of your breath is all you need to do. So just reach the arms up and take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, reach yourself over to the right, guiding your left hip down, rotating the heart upwards. If you've got any shoulder niggles, pop that left hand behind the back. And keep rotating the heart upwards. Come into center on an in-breath and out to the left on an out-breath. Again, rotating the heart. Remember, you can pop the hand behind your back. And we're just going to sway from side to side. I'd like you to maybe consider the side that's facing up towards the moon and to the sun. You're just basking in that light that's radiating down upon you. And just absorbing all of that lush energy. And go ahead and just take any movement that feels good. You maybe want to take some body rolls. You maybe want to just stay and rock the head from side to side. Just do what comes naturally to you. And maybe go ahead and lift the head up and down. An inhale as you lift the chin and an exhale as you drop it down. Nice little cheeky head rolls. Be mindful if you have got any tightness in the neck, not to overdo it, and maybe just rock from side to side instead of taking it all the way round. And then just resting the right ear towards the right shoulder, pushing down into the left hand behind you, or you can take it a bit further and take the left arm away behind you, and then use that right hand to lift the head up and over a little bit, not pulling it down to the ear. We're finding that length. And rolling the head to the other side and doing exactly the same. So either just push down into that right arm. If that feels enough, you can stay there. Or take the right arm behind And bring the left hand onto the right ear, lifting, not pulling. Remember to breathe. And then just bring the chin back to the chest. Take a moment just to allow gravity to take hold of the head. Feeling the length, the opening down the back and through the spine. And then just shift the support from underneath the hips if you feel that you need to. And we're going to take a twist to the right. So bringing the left hand onto the right knee without gripping hold. Right hand is either resting on support behind you or onto the floor. Remember to keep the body nice and long. So we're not leaning back, we're not leaning forward. The spine is nice and vertical. Remember to breathe. And slowly come out of the posture and take a forward fold over the legs, using support underneath the head with a block if you need to, or using a block underneath the hands. Be mindful not to try and get the head onto the floor here. It's just about reaching the heart forward and lengthening down the back and through the hips as well. And bringing yourself up, let's take ourselves into a revolve head to knee pose. So we're going to start with the right leg, left leg is bent, and we're going to aim for rotating the heart upwards towards the sky, so that we're not bringing our whole body over that right leg. It's slightly different to the head to knee pose because we're revolving. Coming back to centre, and then take that half wide leg forward fold. Now if this is too much on especially your left knee, maybe just stay upright and take a little rock from side to side instead, or go ahead and use that support underneath the hands. Coming into our just a little bit of sacral stabilization, so we're going to take a twist over the left leg and just do this a couple of times, breathing as you move. Really good one for the pelvis. And let's take a lovely mermaid or merman stretch over to the right. So finding that length down the left side of the waist, and then lifting up, taking it over to the left. Option to lift the hips up is completely up to you. This is a good one to open through the heart a little bit more. And we're going to do all of that onto the other side. So recross the legs the other way from the way that you started. And take a twist over towards your left. Be mindful to keep the shoulders soft, the back of the neck long, and the spine nice and vertical. The breath fluid. Still let your anchor be your breath. And take a gentle fold forward over crossed legs, or soles of the feet together. Lifting ourselves up, let's take our revolved head to knee pose again. So reaching over the left leg this time, rotate the heart upwards. Don't try and force yourself down into this posture. You can just be upright and just reach that right arm overhead without having to really reach over the leg. So be kind to yourself. This wants to feel good. It always wants to feel good. And take that half-seated wide leg forward fold again. And if you guys know me, know my classes, I don't like to push people. I give the opportunity for you guys to push yourself deeper into your practice, but not deeper into postures if you're not ready for it. So I always say pull yourself back a little bit if you're not breathing. That is your body telling you to ease off. And let's tuck that left leg behind. We're going to take those, no we're not going to take spinal twist this way. We're going to take a reach over the left leg this time. So finding length down the right side of the waist. Option, take it to the right and lift the hips, or just keep the hips down. And I think now I take my spine. Yep, there we go. There it is. So take those spinal twists over to your right. So you want to be lifting the left hip as well here and keeping the tail tucked. It's a great one if you've got any SIJ niggles at the moment like I do. It's a really good one just to offer a little bit more space for the pelvis. And then another all-time fave is Baddha Konasana. So let's create a nice diamond shape. We're not bringing the heels too close to the pelvis. And just flap the knees like butterfly wings. And take a moment of stillness just to breathe. Check back in with your intention. Guiding the knees back in and coming on to hands and knees now. So have the shoulders stacked above the wrists, knees directly underneath the hips, drawing tummy button into spine, and take any movement that feels good here. Maybe take some rolls through the wrists, maybe start taking some cat-cow, dynamic breathing. And just take this where your body wants to take it. Not thinking about it too much. Try not to actually think about it at all. Remember, you can be as dynamic as you want to be here, so you may want to bend into the arms. You may want to take some nice barrel rolls, as I'm doing at the moment. These are especially really good to do in the morning, or if you've been sat down quite a lot. If you are doing them in the morning, you'll most likely and hopefully find a few little clicks down the back as well, which is just so good. And when you're ready, take yourself back into a downward facing dog. If you're feeling more like doing child's pose to start, take a child's pose and take a few breaths into the back of the ribs, and then meet me in a downward facing dog. Take any movement that feels good. And then we're going to bring the right leg forward, bringing the hands up onto that right knee, just drawing the hips down, maybe bringing the hands onto the hips or the lower back, and keeping the heart lifting up. So the 7th of April is where I am right now in this video. We encountered we are encountering a full moon, pink super full moon, and it's just offering us a chance to look up, take a step away and get some fresh air. A lot of the time, especially around full moons and especially this one, a lot of us have been feeling quite overwhelmed. So just do something that feels good. Maybe take a reach over to the right here using a block underneath your right hand, or bring the right hand onto the floor. And anything that feels overwhelming, especially caused by our surroundings or the problems we're facing, give yourself a time to break away. This time in your yoga practice today is for space. So when you're ready, take yourself back to a down dog. And we're going to repeat that on the left hand side. So bring the left foot forward, always assist it through if it gets stuck. Pop the right knee down, bringing the hands up onto that left knee if you need to. Keep the shoulders soft and keep reaching the heart up. Lifting the heart, and if you want to, you can maybe even look all the way up here. As during these times, looking up at the sky and knowing that there's a full moon, even if it's daytime, you might not be able to see it, just can bring a bit of peace, a little bit of clarity. And let's take that side stretch over to the left. So finding that nice length down the right side of the waist, all the way down into the right hip flexor. Keep pushing down and keep that right leg active as well. So pushing through the right foot and the right shin. Just check in with your breathing as well. Alright, gently bring our hands back onto the mat and take yourself back to a downward facing dog. Walking both feet up to the top of the mat, take a forward fold, softening the knees. Deep breath in as you halfway lift. Breathe out as you fold forward. Release the neck and the shoulders. Let's do that again. Deep breath in, heart reaches forward. Breathe out and let it go. And again, breathe in, reach the heart all the way forward and up. Hold it here as you breathe out. And bringing the hands onto the hips, lift up with a flat back, pushing through the heels. Taking a moment just at the top of your mat, maybe to interlace the fingers behind the back and just lift the heart a little bit more. Okay, we're going to just interlace fingers. Reach the palms facing up if that feels okay, or have the palms just together in prayer. And take swaying palm tree. So just rocking from side to side. If this is too much, and wherever you are, make sure the knees are soft. You can just reach one arm overhead instead of bringing both arms over. If it's too much on your obliques, or especially your lower back, if you haven't quite got the core right there, right now. And then interlace the fingers again, tucking the tail and just lifting the heart up. Check in with your breath, check in with your intention. Now we're going to take a Chandra Namaskar, so a moon salutation. So take a breath in as you reach the arms up. As you breathe out, fold forward and reach forward with the heart, release the hands down to the earth. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, going to take the left leg back into a runner's lunge. You're going to rotate all 10 toes to the right. As you reach your right arm up, opening the heart towards the right side of the mat, take a deep breath in. Reaching the right arm overhead, and then coming back down to a runner's lunge. Coming down into our side lunge, and then we're going to walk over to our left leg for another side lunge there, and then into a runner's lunge. You will get used to this. I know it's probably new to you. Let's rotate all 10 toes to the left side of the mat, opening the heart to the left. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, bring the hands back down to a runner's lunge, stepping the right foot forward into a forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward. And then we're going to reach up with a flat back, push through the heels, tuck the bottom, hands through prayer. Let's do that again. So deep breath in, reach the arms up, maybe a cheeky little back bend. And as you breathe out, swan dive, reach forward with the heart, release the neck and the shoulders, take a halfway lift, breathe in. As you breathe out, take your right leg back, so we're reversing it all the way. All 10 toes, pivot to the left, reach the left arm up, open the heart, take a deep breath in, reach the left arm overhead, and breathe out. Hands come down, take that side lunge to your left. Pull through the feet as you take yourself to the right and then into a runner's lunge on your right leg. Lifting the right arm up, adjusting your garments. Lifting the right arm up, rotating the toes to the right, breathing in, reach the arm overhead. Breathe out, hands come down, take a forward fold at the short edge of the mat. Breathing in, halfway lift. Breathe out, release. And then come up with a flat back. Push through the heels, tuck the bottom in, reach up, hands through to prayer. Again on the other side, so deep breath in, reach up, paying homage to the moon. Breathe out, take a forward fold all the way down, release the neck and shoulders. Halfway lift, breathe in. And as you breathe out, take your right leg back this time. So you're going to rotate all 10 toes to your left, reaching the left arm into the sky and overhead, deep breath in. Breathe out, hands come down to the floor, runner's lunge, side lunge over that left leg. Keep breathing, take yourself to the right, and then to a runner's lunge, rotate all 10 toes to the right edge of the mat, reach the right arm up, deep breath in. And as you breathe out, bring the hands down to a runner's lunge, feet come together at the short edge of the mat, deep breath in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold forward, and then come up with the flat back. Reach the arms up, breathe in. Back bend if you want to. Breathe out, fold forward, release all the way down. Halfway lift, inhale. As you exhale, take your left leg back, runner's lunge. Reach the right arm up, rotate all 10 toes to the right, deep breath in. Breathe out, runner's lunge. Take your side lunge to your right. Take yourself over to the left, runner's lunge. Left arm lifts, toes pivot to the left, breathe in, open the heart up to the moon. And as you breathe out, hands come down to the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift, take a breath. Oh no. Here we go. Halfway lift, take a breath in. Breathe out, release. And then lift yourself all the way up. Deep breath in, back bend if you so wish. Hands through to prayer. Take a moment to check in with your intention. Take a moment to breathe. We're going to come into our goddess pose now. So, opening the feet nice and wide, heels in, toes out, keeping the bottom tucked, and just taking a nice wide squat. I hate the word squat, you know what I mean. So, wherever you are, just make sure the knees are not coming beyond the big toes. So you're going to try and push the knees back towards your baby toes. We're going to take some heart openers here. So take a breath in as you reach the arms out, and as you breathe out, round through the top of your back. Breathe in, opening the heart. Breathe out, round through the back. Keep the bottom tucked. Breathe in, open the heart. The toes are soft. Breathe out, and then come all the way back up. Let's take a nice warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. So your left leg is nice and straight, and then your right leg is bent. Make sure your right knee is reaching over towards your baby toe. We've got the option to throw in a balance here, just to really challenge ourselves whilst it's a full moon already. We're probably feeling wobbly as it is. See where you're at. So maybe take your weight onto that right leg. Make sure you're rotating the heart and the hips up. Maybe take hold of that left foot with your left hand. And use support underneath that right hand as well. If the floor's too far away from you, bring it closer to you. Alright, let's step back into Warrior Two. Hips as stable and as square as can be. Widen the arms, broaden the collarbones, soften the shoulders. And let's bring ourselves back to center. Let's take a wide leg stance, just give the shoulders a roll. And we're going to come into Warrior Two on the other side. I just had to move back, because otherwise I was going to headbutt the railing, which is not very convenient. So, widen those arms out. Again, left knee reaching towards the baby toe of the left foot. Reach yourself forward. Grab a block if you want to. I obviously needed one here. I just didn't think about it. And then make sure that right foot is flexing and you're rotating the heart and the hips upwards. Give a go at taking hold of your right foot with the left hand. With the right hand if you want to. Keep rotating the heart up. Standing knees soft, the toes supporting you. And then guide yourself back to a Warrior Two. Sink down into the posture, feeling the strength and the fire through the legs, the softness of heart. As you make your way back into that wide leg stance. Let's take a wide leg standing forward fold. So we're going to turn the heels a little bit wider than the toes, interlace the fingers behind the back, or just have the hands at the small of the back. Keep the knees soft and fold yourself forward. So if you've got your head on the floor, see if you can just shorten your stance so you can let your body just dangle. And be mindful that you're not reaching your way into the backs of the feet here. So we want the heels and the toes to be evenly weighted. Maybe reach those arms all the way overhead, if that feels okay, on the shoulders. Remember to breathe. And slowly bring yourself up. We're going to take ourselves over to our left leg. We're going to guide ourselves into a humble high lunge. It's not quite a warrior posture. So back heel is off the floor. We're going to guide the left shoulder into the inside of the left knee. And then lift the body all the way up. Hands down onto the earth as you breathe into a plank. Breathe out, lower the body down. Chaturanga Dandasana. The heart is going to scoop forward and up. Reach out of the shoulders. Push into the feet. And take yourself back to a down dog. Nice little cheeky vinyasa. And let's do that on the other leg. So guiding the right leg forward to that runner's lunge. Interlacing the fingers behind. Scooping the tailbone down. And then when you're ready, you're going to reach the heart forward. The right shoulder is going to guide onto the inside of the right knee without opening the right knee out. So you want to keep that right knee squeezing towards the body. Keep the back of the neck long. And then lift your body all the way up. Hands down to the earth. Back to a plank. Deep breath in. Breathe out option. Lower the knees and lower the body. However you want to. And then scoop the heart forward. Taking a breath in, cobra or an up dog. Breathing out, taking yourself back to a down dog. Take this moment for stillness. Now, something that we can learn from the moon is that it teaches us that there are phases to life. So let's bring ourselves back down to child's pose. Just take a rest. And this time for stillness. Sometimes what the moon teaches us, especially when we find stillness, is that things are still changing, and that includes ourselves. This can sometimes feel quite overwhelming and shocking to our system, and this is why just looking at the moon and remembering that there's more to the universe than the earth can give us is sometimes a nice, refreshing perspective. So our next posture that we're going to take is camel pose or Ustrasana. Now this is a great lengthening posture for the psoas, so our hip flexors. If you've got hip niggles or if you've got lower back niggles, please stick with this first option that I'm doing right now. So pushing shins and tops of the feet into the earth, reaching the hips forward, and just keep the hands onto the lower back. Okay, that's the first option. Next option is to take one hand onto a block behind you and extend the other arm up into the sky, keeping the shoulders square. So we're not rotating the heart too much over to one side that we're leaning to. Remember to keep reaching the heart forward and tuck the bottom in. In between sides, if you need to take a child's pose, especially to release that lower back, please do. If we've got a little bit of weakness in the legs and in the core, this can be quite strenuous on the lower back. So just be mindful of that and remember to breathe as well. Taking it a little bit further, you can maybe use some blocks underneath both hands. And only when you feel ready, you can release the neck, slowly and gently. You may want to bring the blocks onto a shorter level. You may not want to use them at all and just hold on to the heels straight away, but keep reaching the heart upwards and the hips forwards. So our thoracic structure in this posture is maintained at an inhalation position. So as you breathe in, you're going to find that strength. As you breathe out, this can be where things get lost a little bit. So it's important to keep your structure here and then come out of the posture safely, releasing the neck last as well. So I don't like to be in that posture for too long. Just get a little bit dizzy, to be honest. But feel free to stay there for as long as you want to, as long as it feels comfortable. And coming up to a kneeling position, take any movement that feels good. Maybe seated cat-cow. Thinking about that heart as it opens from the front and opens from the back. And a nice downward facing dog. Right, so pigeon pose. A nice hip opener for us again. If you know how to do pigeon on your back and it feels better, especially on that left knee, the knee that's bent forward, do pigeon on your back. If you're finding any discomfort here at all in the knees, it's just an indication to maybe come onto your back and just leave this one out for a moment. And we want that right leg as well, so the leg that's straight behind you, we want that leg to be an extension of the body, especially the foot, so just be mindful that the foot's not sickling. And keep reaching the heart forward. We're not quite bring the body all the way onto the floor in this posture today. Take yourself back to a down dog. If you want to, take a little vinyasa in between sides. And then we're going to swap sides and bring in the right knee forward for pigeon on the other. Again, use that support if you need to. For example, a block or a cushion or a blanket underneath your right hip, just to keep those hips square, hips level. Let's gently come out of that posture and roll ourselves onto our backs and hug the knees in. Just release the lower back. Maybe take some rolls of the knees if that feels good. If you've still got any tightness in the tops of the knees, the tops of the hips, just keep the knees wide and the toes together. Let's take some gentle knee rolls as well, so windscreen wipers, just to release the sacrum a bit more and into the psoas. Maybe think about breathing into the back space of the heart here, just so we can breathe into the earth. And we're going to come into a comfortable position for Shavasana, so you support under the knees if you need to. And for today, just as we're working through opening through the heart space, maybe grab yourself a support to pop under the top of the back, so around about where the shoulder, underneath the shoulder blades, just to lift the heart up. You can pop just a cushion if you want, just to have a little lift, or you can do what I'm doing using a block, but only if this feels okay. It's not for everyone, so if you're doing it and you're like, this makes me feel sick, which is a common complaint from this posture, just come out of it, don't worry about it at all. can always intensify this posture by taking a couple of blocks, taking it a little bit deeper. Now, in a deep state of quiet consciousness, it's quite different from sleep. So, common experience of this posture. In Shavasana, the body is completely at rest. The metabolism is freed of the demands of contending with gravity. And this makes it possible to practice the most difficult breathing exercises of all. The act of being fully aware of, but not controlling, the breath's movements. And usually when you're aware of your breathing, in some way you kind of alter its natural rhythm. When you're not aware of the breath, it's driven by a combination of autonomic impulses and unconscious habits as well. So allow yourself just to surrender to the breaths and surrender the breath's natural movements, and this will allow you to get that powerful relaxation that you deserve. And really open up your heart to the brightness of the moon. As the sun is directly opposite the moon, and that's what causes a full moon. Maybe take this time to welcome the experience of revamping the system's authority and power. And this super full moon is about personal power as well. Personal acceptance, personal freedom, and just awareness of one's own authenticity. So I'm going to give you guys just a few more minutes to stay where you are. Remember to breathe. And if the mind wavers off, just bring it back to the feeling of your own breath. And let yourself surrender. Start bringing your awareness back to your breath, your body, the sounds around you, the sounds furthest away from you. As soon as you hear the bell, gently roll yourself onto one side and bring yourself to a comfortable seat. Take a moment to rock the head from side to side, maybe give the shoulders a roll. Find gratitude as you breathe in, fill up with gratitude, and as you breathe out, send that away. And then reach the arms up on an inhale, and as you breathe out, guide your prayer to your heart space, relaxing the elbows, drawing shoulder blades down the back. Thanking yourself for your practice. May you be safe, peaceful, healthy. May you be happy. Namaste.